Black Clover is a show and manga that is extremely controversial. It seems as if you either love it or you hate it. Well, I love it, but one thing that people do say is it is a Naruto, Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia fusion, and that it's just a shameless copy of the three. It is also often called the redheaded stepchild of My Hero Academia, as the two main protagonists are born with absolutely no powers in a world where power is everything. And eventually, they both finally get some sort of power and become prodigies within their world. While Black Clover is a less popular franchise than My Hero Academia, it's still home to a slew of extremely powerful characters. For example, Yami is the leader of the Black Bulls, which is Asta's Magic Knight squad. He has survived mountain-level attacks, likely can do more damage than shattering a mountain, and can casually block light magic attacks, which travel at faster than light speeds. Now I think that Asta vs Deku is an adept comparison, two mediums with a similar starting premise, with somewhat similar main protagonists. However, it seems that the character from the less popular show, Asta, would not only defeat Deku, but could one-shot him. Now hear me out, guys. I love My Hero Academia, and I really like Deku as a character, but Asta has showed far greater feats than Deku you just can't go against. First off, I want to dispel the notion that Asta's only ability is anti-magic, and that he really isn't that strong or that fast or durable. That's all nonsense. Asta is extremely fast. Mages within the Black Clover universe use magic to assist their bodies in speed, strength, or durability, which, if they use their magic, they can do strength feats, speed feats, durability feats that they can never do without the magic. In the very beginning of the series, at the Magic Knight's entrance exams, Asta displays an interesting feat. Despite him having literally zero magic and just wielding an anti-magic sword, he moves so fast that a Magic Knight captain, William Vengeance, thought he was using speed magic to assist him. He wasn't, he's just that fast. Asta is just extremely strong and fast because he spent every day of his life training intensely so that one day, when his magic came to him, he would be an amazing mage. Well, magic never came to Asta, but an anti-magic sword did. Asta has 3 swords, but I will only go over 2, as only 2 of them are actually relevant for this video, and the third sword goes into the spoiler territory anyways. First is the Demon Slayer sword. It's Asta's biggest and heaviest sword that can be used as a blunt or stabbing weapon that blocks, reflects, or slices magic. And there's the Demon Dweller sword, the smaller but still extremely heavy sword that can take magic from his allies, which lets Asta use said magic against adversaries. And also, it's more of a regular sword where he can still slice people. Of course, the anti-magic attributes of the swords are pretty much irrelevant against Deku, as Midoriya doesn't have any magic. Quirks have never really been explained to be magic, it is more so a mutation, therefore, One for All would not be negated by anti-magic. Still, these swords can be effective against Midoriya. The Demon Slayer sword is a blunt or stabbing weapon, and the Demon Dweller sword acts more like a regular sword. And we know swords can be effective against Deku, and the defense of One for All. Although an argument could be made that Asta could deflect Deku's wind type attacks, as Asta could likely swing his sword fast enough to deflect it back, or just negate it. Also, Asta can use Ki. No, not the Ki from Dragon Ball, although it's somewhat similar. The Ki in Black Clover is somewhat of a cross between the Ki in Dragon Ball and Ultra Instinct. When Asta learns to sense Ki, not only does this seem to let him sense the general power of opponents and just people in general, but also gives him insane reaction time, similar to Ultra Instinct of Dragon Ball Super, or I'd say more comparable to maybe Master Roshi's version of a knockoff Ultra Instinct in Dragon Ball Super. Now when it comes to lifting strength, Asta is extremely strong. You can pretty much tell just by looking at his body, he's absolutely yoked. He can casually wield both these swords at the same time with no effort. These swords are extremely heavy. Even the Demon Dweller sword was so heavy that the Wizard King, the strongest mage in all the series, struggled lifting it. And this is just the Demon Dweller sword. The Demon Slayer sword is far heavier, and Asta casually carries both of these at the same time like they are as light as regular swords. And Asta is a remarkable swordsman that he was trained by Hansel Kruger, who himself was a rogue swordsman from the Diamond Kingdom. So Asta knows how to use these swords. He doesn't really have a lot of strength feats shown when it comes to just lifting besides these swords, but what does need to be noted is that while Asta's sword is anti-magic, he does also need the strength to counter such magic. What I mean by this is that if you just had a random person holding the sword and tried to deflect a magic attack, he likely couldn't, as he wouldn't be strong enough to counter it despite having the magic sword. So Asta needs to be somewhat relative to the magic power that he counters. So there's a character Veto, who is a member of the Third Eye, which is the elite warrior mages of the Eye of the Midnight Sun, a terrorist group. They are more powerful than Licht, Licht, who gave Captain Yami a huge problem in battle. Each of the Third Eye are stated to be stronger than Magic Knight captains. One of these Magic Knight captains, Jack the Ripper, one time flattened a mountain when he got in a scuffle with Yami. So we can at least assume that many of the Magic Knight captains are mountain level, and by proxy, so is Veto. Well, Veto strikes down and Asta blocks it, which means Asta was able to block a likely mountain level attack and hold his ground. Now when it comes to even more attack potency or strength feats, Asta has some pretty good ones, like when he is trying to defend Fuegoleon's sister Merlina, and as she has basically been knocked unconscious, a bunch of mages combine an attack against her to kill her as she is seen as a threat. The main force was given by Raya, who is a member of the Third Eye as well, and therefore makes him captain level. Therefore his base power was already stronger than Licht, but Raya gets an amp when his body gets elf possessed, so he would be an even higher degree above Licht than he already was. He then combined his attack with other elves, including a previous Magic Knight captain who had also been possessed by an elf. Just for reference, when somebody becomes possessed by an elf, their magic powers become massively amped. So he did this with other people, including a former Magic Knight captain who turned into an elf, therefore it's a amped Magic Knight captain. This would likely be a multi-mountain level attack, and Zora used his magic to convert it into his own, and then doubled the power of the attack, which Asta was able to take this doubled attack and swap it away, which actually further empowered it 4 times. So now, this attack came back to Asta again, and he deflected with the swing of his sword yet again. So this already multi-mountain level attack was multiplied by 8 times, and Asta still deflected it yet again, which shows that Asta can hit with the force relative to a multi-mountain level attack, as a highball at least. I do think this is really enough for Asta's strength and attack potency feats. Now onto his speed, which is absolutely insane. Asta has shown the ability to effortlessly react to faster than light attacks, and has shown actual faster than light combat speed. For example, light magic travels at light speed, and even faster than light speeds when the user amplifies their mana. There are a slew of statements to show light magic is at least light speed. I really don't think it should be a debate on if it is or isn't. So when Asta tried to help Merlina against Rai, he was able to combine spatial magic with light magic. That's what Rai did at least, which meant he opened up portals really close to Asta and shot a bunch of light magic beams at him. Raya's magic is that he copies other magic. He can also amplify said magic. Licht was able to amp his light magic to even faster than light speed, and Raya was already faster than that. And then Raya turned into an elf, which would make it even faster than that previous faster than light speed. Yet, Asta was able to react and swat tens of light magic's attacks in an instant, which shows that Asta can react to attacks that are far faster than light speed, and do it quite easily. He can also move in short bursts at faster than light speeds as well, as shown in his fight against a elf-possessed Luck. Luck Voltia uses lightning magic, which means he can likely move at lightning speeds, which lightning can move at 1/3 the speed of light. Luck had broken his limit several times during the series up to this point, and when he was possessed by an elf, he received 2 separate massive amps to his magic and mana, which by proxy increased his power and speed. Furthermore, Asta was really impressed with Luck's speed, and with Asta having combated multiple enemies with faster than light speeds, you'd have to assume Luck would have to be on that level as well, or at least close, which shows that Asta can not only react to faster than light attacks, but also move at the speed of light as well, faster than it. Imagine that heavy ass sword smacking against Deku's head at faster than light speeds. Asta was also able to attack Licht, who Licht himself was able to throw light speed attacks. This means at this moment, Asta likely moved at a speed relative to the speed of light to be able to take him off guard. Asta is quite durable as well. He has survived mountain level attacks from Veto, survived part of a mountain falling on top of him, a light sword attack from Licht, an attack from Ladros that had blown up an entire forest before and had his power amped, and Asta got right back up after taking an explosion that could destroy a forest. But wait, Asta has a transformation. I call it his demon form, even though within the manga they call it Black Asta. As he grows one wing and half his body becomes black, Black Asta can fly, is much faster than regular Asta, as well as stronger and more durable. He basically just gets a bunch of amps like in any shonen transformation. His anti-magic power is increased as well, but again, anti-magic is pretty irrelevant for this battle. Now when it comes to Deku, we can refer to his fight against Hero Killer Stain. Midoriya could only use 5% of One For All, and even teamed up with Todoroki and Lita, and could barely defeat the likes of Hero Killer Stain. Now Deku can now use 20% of One For All, sure, and is also probably a better fighter, but Deku needed help to defeat Stain. Now switch in Asta with Stain. Asta is far faster than Stain, far stronger, and far more durable, and his swords would be extremely heavy. Asta could easily dodge and counter any of Deku's attacks, as Deku isn't anywhere near light speed, and Asta can easily react to faster than light attacks. If Asta has the power to deflect multi-mountain level attacks, then he can strike with something relative to that as well. Deku hasn't shown anywhere the durability that is a multi-mountain level, and an extremely heavy sword going at multiple times the speed of light would absolutely demolish Deku. That's even leaving out his demon form, which amps his power and speed several times further. I don't even know if really Asta needs to transform. But also, if you don't agree with the multi-mountain level attacks, sure, that's more of a highball, but even then, Deku is not going to be able to react to light speeds from Asta. And a giant sword moving at several times the speed of light, Deku's not going to be able to react to that. And when that sword hits Deku, either by stab, slash, or just a blunt weapon, he's a goner. He's not gonna survive, or maybe he'll survive, but he's gonna lose. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this video down below. Again, I could be wrong, but I do think Asta would pretty much defeat Deku. I mean, of course, Deku was gonna get stronger, but so is Asta. If you disagree, let me know. But hope you guys all have an amazing day. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Peace out.